What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at an interesting piece of tech called the Drone Tag Rider. Drone Tag was cool enough to send this over for us to review. They do not get to see this video before it goes up online, and they do not get a say in how we feel about this particular tech. I will say straight off the bat, this is an interesting piece of tech, and I do think it's going to cause some controversy, so I'm really interested to hear what you guys think out there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed, and we'll take it out in the field and test it. Let's do it. All right, so let's quickly go over what you get in the box with the Drone Tag Rider. It's actually really simple. You only get a few things. You get the device itself, you get a small tiny USB-C to USB-A charging cable, and you get this sleeve that appears to be 3D printed. Now, I'm not sure if that's just sent out with these demo units or that's something that's going to be coming with the actual device when you purchase it. Now, they do offer a long range antenna, which I did not receive, but you can find that on their website. Now, on the device, it's also very simple. You have 3 LED lights and they're RGB, so they light up different colors depending on what mode or what status the device is in. And that's it. It's a very simple and clean, basic device. All right, let's talk about the price really quick of this device. The price of this is actually pretty high. So as of the recording of this video, the price on the Drone Tag website is $1,099. Now you get the Drone Tag Rider, you get the USB-C cable, and you get a quick start guide and a sticker for that price. So it's a pretty high bar for entry. I don't see a lot of people going out and purchasing this thing just to track drones for no reason or just for fun or for recreation. Sure, you might get the occasional person that wants to do that, but for the most part, this is going to be a tool that other more serious professionals are going to use. That price does not include the subscription service which they offer. Now, you don't have to have the subscription to use the Drone Tag Rider, but what it does give you is the ability to use the rider without having to connect your cell phone and rely on your cell phone for the cell service. As far as I know, I'm not sure it's a 5G device, so you're probably better off using your cell phone service if you're here in the States. So again, it's a really expensive price. I don't see a lot of normal people buying this. Again, I think this is more geared towards drone professionals and those first responder teams who are going to be looking to purchase something like this. But yeah, let's get back into the video. What's going on, guys? Jared back from DroneDJ, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Drone Tag Rider. This is an RFID tracking device made to track your drone. So today we're going to be trying to track down the Mini 3 Pro. I've also got the Air 3 and the DJI Flip, and we're going to see if any of those are worth tracking. We're also going to see, is this device weird? Is it cool? Is it a cool safety device? Is it all of the above? We're not really sure. It is pretty expensive, so we'll also test to see if that is worth the price tag that it is. I'm here with Emmanuel from Emmanuel Exposure. He's going to help us. He's an awesome drone pilot, and we're going to see what we can get. Let's check it out. All right, got the device, got the app running. The idea of it is your drone has an RFID tag on it, sort of like a license plate for your drone, and this will pick up that signal when it is being put out by the drone. So once the drone is on and connected through satellites and the network, this should pick it up, and then you'll get updated on the app, and the app allows you to then view where the drone is as far as like a flight path. So we're going to get it booted up here in just a second. We're going to see if it works, and it should hopefully show connection on the phone. Cool, standby. And then I don't think it actually links until we turn the drone on. So I'm going to hold this and I'm going to let you turn the drone on. Okay, let's do it. Scanning. And it says disconnected. Connecting to satellites. It's blinking white, so that means that it is searching. All right, what are you all connected? Your takeoff permitted?
Takeoff permitted, GPS is connected, everything is looking good.
The white lights on here means it's scanning for the drone according to the documentation. And I believe that beep means that we may, yep, the beep means that we have found a drone. So if we look back here, yep, there you are.
Nice.
Cool.
What is that? KRLP.
That is your drone. So let's look. Let's go in here and loading airspace state. So it's bringing up the specs. All right. So it says aircraft, DJI drone or module. So it does read that it is the DJI drone. It does not read what model it is as of right now. But that's cool. So yeah, it's tracking it. So you're out there over the ocean?
Yeah. And it actually shows me, it's showing me the altitude right there, right?
It is 10 meters. Yep.
Yeah, right here it says I'm at 9.9, so it's pretty accurate.
Okay, so the weird thing, and this is going into that, like, is it weird? Is it helpful? It shows where you're standing. So that's you right there, the blue dot.
Right,
and it's me on there, the blinking blue dot, that's the cell phone. And if I believe if I actually click you, no, we don't want to pin. I believe if we go back into the status of this, status.
Will it pull up like a satellite image of me standing?
I believe it says operator takeoff. So let me click that. Okay, it says, yeah, open in in Google Maps. So I'm going to open it, and it shows exactly where we're at. So this is all screen recorded, but it shows where we're standing. It does not show the drone, obviously, in Google Maps, but it shows where the operator is. All right, so that's interesting. So where are you flying now?
I'm flying back towards us.
Okay. So it's updating again. Let's see where it is a little bit slower on the update than I thought it would be.
I was starting.
Oh, there we go.
Some RC.
So I believe, yeah. Okay. So when it's beeping is when it's tracking. So it could be interference that I have right now with this. I know that they make an accessory to make the antenna more powerful, but I do not have that. And we've got some trees here in the way, and there's a couple buildings around us. So interesting. Takeoff permitted. We're good. All right. So green lights. App is up and running.
Home point updated.
All right. Just want to see if it's even going to work.
Yeah.
In flight, I'm not getting the error that you got. But it's not beeping. All right, so we did just put the flip up in the air, but it actually does not have remote ID. I did not know that. So good news, if you're interested in flying a drone and you don't want to be tracked, the flip is on that list. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so we're gonna put the Air 3 up in the air. I know for a fact that has remote ID, so we should be able to detect that guy once it's up in the air.
Home point updated.
Instantly detected. So we are detected there. Yep, and we're detected. I don't know if you can see that on there. Yeah, let's fly. Now this, funny enough, it's telling me that it sees the Air 3. So it does know this aircraft. Did not do that on the Mini 3.
Max flight distance reached.
All right, so because we're in a geofence zone, we sort of hit the threshold of where we're allowed to fly, which is interesting because you did not hit that threshold. So your was not connecting, which is interesting. Let's see. All right, so Zoom in on here. There's the flight path.
Max flight distance reached.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not allowed to fly here. So that is that. But as you can see, it did detect the drone. I've got a tiny little flight path on here. I'm actually going to fly inland and see if it lets me go that way. Still detecting.
Max altitude reached.
Oh, not allowed to fly over 100 feet right now either. All kinds of trouble. All right, so we did get the Mavic. Sorry, we did get the Air 3 up in the air. It was able to track it. I think it's still beeping actually. But for whatever reason, the spot we're in, we are geo-fenced in, so we couldn't get that far. But we did get it up and working. So I think the next test that we do is let's drive to a spot, separate, and see if I can see you up in the air. All right, so we just packed up and we left. Now we are going to do sort of the distance test, but we have to get out of this area where we're near an airport. We're not able to fly too far here. There's too many restrictions because we're near an airport, which of course, be safe. Don't fly unsafe. But right now we're gonna go and try to do the distance test like I mentioned. And the idea of the distance test is to see how far we can track with the drone tag rider when Emmanuel is flying. So we're gonna go on one spot and then he's going to drive off, and then we're gonna see just how far we're able to pick it up when he starts flying the drone. So let me just talk really quick about how I feel about this initially. Of course, this is before we're doing this test, so I can't give the final conclusion just yet. But the thing that stands out to me, number one, is obviously they have a marketplace for this particular device. So obviously they have a marketplace that they're trying to pitch this device to. I'm not really sure, 100% sure on where that marketplace is because of the cost, essentially, of this device. I'm not really sure who this device is for. Now, a lot of other reviews that I've sort of read and seen talk about this being for first responders, which I feel, okay, that's a fair assumption. And initially I thought that as well, but given that the technology has been in most of the these DJI drones, at least for a while, I feel like first responders probably already have this technology available to them at a better capacity, meaning they probably have higher grade equipment, something that's a little bit more industrial, robust, and suited for the job that they would need it for. This is definitely more on the consumer level, as far as like just the equipment quality, the app quality. I did have a few things happen just trying to get it up and running. It was, a little confusing and a little unreliable. It did not pick up the Mini initially right away. We had to fly the Mini pretty close and then it would pick it up and then it would cut in and out. So another sector that I've heard this might be for is if you are a company and you have multiple drone pilots, you'll be able to track where they are located from one spot, which is obviously great. But I think there's, again, if you're, running something with more than 2 drones, I feel like there's probably a more suited technology that you may just proprietarily build into your system to begin with. Yeah, I don't know. It's really expensive, so I don't see a lot of people just going to buy this off the shelf. So that brings me to my next point. A lot of the other YouTube videos I watched out there, other reviews that I watched, were really concerned about people just buying this to track other drone pilots down and, just sort of find them whenever they want by turning on this device, and it magically shows all the drones that are flying in your area. Or if you hear a drone, you can track it down and track the pilot down. And that brings me to sort of my final point. Is this device kind of quote unquote creepy or weird or, you know, just kind of strange because it does give you access to find not only the drone, but the drone operator. You're able to get a GPS map coordinate to where the operator is actually operating, which, you know, obviously that proposes its own challenges and scares, as it should, because that means anybody can buy this device and start tracking drone pilots down. And my first thought from that is, I don't think I'm going to get in trouble with the law because I don't fly or do anything really illegally, and I have my 107 license. I just get more scared. Is somebody going to buy this device to start tracking people down to rob them? Because a lot of times, if you're flying a drone, you're part of a production or you're on a job, and you're probably going to have other equipment with you. Obviously, you're, you know, in a vehicle to get to that location that you're flying. So that's sort of more of my scare. Like, is this going to promote the ability to track people down to rob them? And, you know, over the last several years, photographers and videographers getting robbed has definitely been, you know, a trend. So that's a little bit alarming, the fact that this has the ability to show that kind of information. Again, I don't think I'm going to get tracked down to get in trouble by the authorities at, you know, where I'm at, or if somebody's going to report me. I'm more concerned about actually somebody tracking me down and robbing me. So definitely high on the concern. All right, so I just parked. Emmanuel's going to go like a mile away, and we are going to see how far and if this picks it up. And then if it doesn't, I'm going to hop back in the car, and we're going to see if we can pick him up. Yo,
my bad. I didn't see that you were calling me. The ringer's off.
no worries.
You're like, this guy took off with my drone.
I didn't even think about that, man. That's okay. I could track you when you turn it on.
Yeah, you see, it's useful.
Okay.
I'm about a mile away.
Okay.
Turning on the drone now.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the device. So boot it up. All right. So it's in searching mode.
Okay, so I have the remote on, audio on. Let me turn on like the actual motors.
Yep.
All right, he's in the air.
Okay. All right. I do not have any detection yet. I'm going to hold it outside the window. I'm in the car. And see. Nope, nothing yet. Oh, there we go. It beeped. I think it's got you, so let's see. Are you flying?
I'm flying.
Okay, let me see. Yep. It's got you. Got the Air 3, yep. And it says your drone is 58 meters from you. Which, yeah, it's got you. I'm gonna zoom out.
Put on sports mode to fly a little bit faster. Let's see how well it keeps up with the drone.
Last seen 4 seconds ago. I've got the. Are you flying back towards me right now?
It looks like I am, yeah.
Yeah.
I can actually see Costco from here.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're flying towards me. Kind of.
Yeah.
So I'm screen recording the phone, and I can see where the path is.
Okay.
So yeah, so we'll show it up here on the screen. So okay, so real quick recap. So you're about a mile away. It was able to pick you up, but it was not instantly. It was, I think the drone had to get up in the air a little bit. It wasn't like right off the bat. I'm not sure how high it was when it actually picked it up, but it has now lost signal. It looks like you turned around and now I lost signal. Yeah, it lost signal. So it stopped beeping, so it lost signal. But okay, so about a mile, and we're not in like probably the perfect conditions. I'm sure if I hold this outside. Yep. So as soon as I put it outside, it started tracking. So line of sight is definitely a big thing for this. But yeah, all right, cool, man. Come on back. All right, so Emmanuel's on his way back, and he was out about a mile. Now, it wasn't perfect conditions. I'm sitting in the car. As soon as I held the remote out of the car, it seemed to pick up a little bit more, but it still seemed a little bit spotty. I know that they advertise, I think, 3-mile range is about what they sort of advertise, but again, that's probably in perfect conditions. They also have an antenna that you can attach to the device that makes it a more long range tracking antenna type deal. So I don't have that. They didn't send that over. So obviously, you know, if you wanted that accessory, you could have it. But for the most part, it kind of worked. I don't know if it works as 100% as what they're saying it does. And again, I'm not in the perfect conditions that they tested in or they claim to run it in. So we definitely ran into some problems with reception. It does have to have a line of sight, which is a typical sort of RFID thing, sort of how the remote works to the drone. But it is a pretty small device on top of that. So it's not like it's a huge device. But overall, I think it's okay. Again, going back to what I was saying, I'm not 100% sure that everybody's going to go out and run out and buy one of these just because the price tag alone is really high. But you know, it's got some promising tech inside it. And with time, you know, it's probably only going to get better and easier to track these things. So this is probably just a glimpse in the future. I imagine at some point, you know, drone detection is going to be a normal thing that's going to happen in, you know, either your cell phone or some other device that you can carry similar to this. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's probably the way we're going. And there's no real getting around it.
So it worked, kind of, right?
Yeah.
I was like about, you see where the Costco sign is, where it says wholesale? I was probably about that high when you told me, okay, I caught you now, I see you. And then I was just hovering around, floating around. At one point, you said you lost connection.
Yep.
That's when I was already like coming back towards me. But yeah, I mean, like you said, you're able to see me and track me. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
All right, yeah, so it kind of worked. I think they said up to like 3 miles. Again, that might be in like the perfect working condition, you know, like open field, line of sight, nothing else really going on. Maybe, you know, a drone with a little bit bigger RFID sensor inside of it, you know, if that's even a thing, that'll help. But I gave a little spiel about how I don't really think this is something that the masses are going to buy. You know, it's sort of marketed as like a consumer device, but the price tag says it's more prosumer. And then if it's for first responders, my first initial thought is they probably already have something. If this technology is out there for somebody to build, they probably already have like their own kind of version of it, you know, that they've tailored to what they need as a first responding team. So I don't necessarily even think I see local police departments or fire departments or, you know, emergency services per se buying it.
Yeah.
Sorry for the noise in the background, guys. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, initially, I really like the form factor. I like that it's really small and it'll fit in your pocket, right? That's super cool and super easy to use. Other than like it being like in the beginning, we were losing connection a bit. And when I was already up in the air, I like that it's something that I kind of do like the price point because you know that not anyone is just going to be able to buy it and be able to track you wherever you're at, right? Someone who has this, they're going to be serious about like what they're doing, right? Yeah. So like people like us, we'll be working on set. I'd see myself using it on set, right? I want to make sure that no other drone is flying into, you know, the area that we're working in and we can just be safe. I like that. If it is more towards first responders and people that, you know, either need this for an emergency or to prevent crime, I'd like to see it have better connection.
Yeah.
And maybe you can be further out than a mile and, you know, be able to track and find whatever you need to do.
Yeah, it needs to be a little bit more reliable.
A little bit more reliable. Other than that, I like the size. I like the barrier of entry to get into it. And I like that, you know, I like what it does. You're able to track drones and find a drone and see exactly where it's at. So I like that.
Yeah, cool. I mean, that's a great point. I didn't really talk about that. It being like if we used it, you know, in a professional environment, like a set, making sure that, you know, random people aren't just flying drones into our set. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point.
Exactly.
I think one of the things that some other reviewers were saying that if you have multiple drones in your fleet, then you can sort of keep track. Like if you're out at one area and it's, you know, maybe we're like, you know, doing a wilderness shoot or something and you're on one end of the woods and I'm on the other end of the woods or whatnot, we can sort of see each other and keep track of each other. So, you know, that's obviously handy. But again, yeah, the price point, it's pretty expensive. I don't even know if I'd add it to my kit just because I don't know. I would have to add it to a job.
Yeah.
And no, I needed it for that job,
Exactly.
you know, to use it. But
Yeah.
but it's cool tech. I also mentioned earlier, like, it's only going to get easier for these things to get created. You know, the barrier of entry to create tech like this is only going to get easier as time goes on. More drones are coming into the marketplace. More drones are going to be in the air. So other companies like this are probably going to start making tech like this. So to see sort of these guys taking it and tackling it on first, you know, I think it's kind of cool because they're trying something new and they're putting something out there that really isn't in the marketplace. But yeah. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, comments, leave it below. We'd love to hear your opinion, and shout out to Emmanuel for helping me on this
Thanks for
on this
having me.
video. Yeah, man. This was a fun one. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.